Hi and good evening, everyone, and welcome to Eczema Uncovered. So tonight we're going to be talking with a lady called Joy Lazarus, and Joy Lazarus is going to take us through her experience living with eczema. Now, Joy is a mother of two. She's been living with eczema since childhood, and she's going to be coming on here to tell her story. So I'm just going to give Joy a ring right now so we can speak to Joy and she can give us her story.
Hello.
Hi, Joy. It's Carol. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Joy, thank you so much for joining us on this call tonight. And
You are most welcome.
And we are live broadcasting for Eczema Uncovered. And I'd just like you to just share just a little introduction about you.
Okay, my name is Joy. I am the proud mother of two amazing young men, and not forgetting I've got a wonderful husband also. And I have been suffering from eczema for, oh my goodness me, for the longest as I can recall, possibly going back to from the age of 11. And the eczema hasn't got any better. However, I have learned to live with it as the years has gone by. I can remember my mother trying everything possible under the sun, everything, what you call the herbal doctors, the GPs, you name it, we've been there. Nothing worked. If it did work, I have to say it was just short term. Nothing was long term. It will ease off for a little while, and believe you me, it always flared back up again. Always flared back up, and it was never mild. Never. I don't think there's no such thing as mild eczema. If you have it, you have it. Absolutely, absolutely awful. Ruined my life. My early childhood was absolutely ruined by eczema. Uncomfortable, going to school, having to do PE, exposing my arms and my neck. Summertime, you're so conscious of what you had to wear because in the back of your mind, you don't want anyone to see what's on your skin. As you get older, as I learned to deal with it, but it's not a pleasant thing. And, you know, Carol, my goodness me, you are now my guru. We all know what a guru is. You have saved my life. It is amazing. Absolutely. What I've been using, the Dermazine, I didn't even know that there was a treatment that was so effective. I had no idea. If someone had said to me, I probably would have thought, yeah, okay. You're forgetting I've been there. I've worn T-shirts. I've done it all. But if you're saying this thing is good, okay. Well, lo and behold, I tried it. And within 2 days of trying Dermazine, my whole life changed. My whole life absolutely changed. And this is not hearsay. I am telling you, I have tried it. It worked for me.
So just for the purpose of the viewers out there, Joy, as you know, suffered with, been living with eczema since childhood. And within the last, when did you first try Dermazine?
I tried Dermazine, and it's crystal clear because this happened at the early stage of the lockdown this year. Sitting at home, nothing to do, browsing the internet, and Carol's Organic Kitchen came up. And I thought, well, this is new. What's this? Let me have a little butcher's. I had a look through. I was reading the descriptions of all the products, and I was thinking, wow. So then I decided to read some of the feedback. Every single feedback I read, there was not a negative feedback, there was not a neutral feedback. Every feedback was 100% positive. And this is when I was sold. I thought, well, everyone can't be saying how good these things are. There's got to be a slight... No, there was not. Everybody was singing from the same page. So I've got nothing to lose. nothing to lose, simply because over the years I have tried so many different creams, very expensive. And when I looked at the prices, I thought I've got absolutely nothing to lose. Give it a bash. And I did. I started with my first Dermazine, and it was in July of this year. As I said, within 2 days, possibly could have been one, but I'll just say two. It could have been one. My skin. I'm addicted. Absolutely addicted, Carol. Cannot thank you enough.
So tell me, I'm going to go back a little bit with your eczema story. But in terms of the Dermazine, what's interesting is people have had different experiences using it in terms of how quickly it actually has helped. So when you first used it, what was the positive result that you're describing in terms of that 1-2 day period? What relief did it give you? How did it help?
Okay. When I first used it, I used it on 3 different parts of my body. I used it on my face, where I've still got some very slight dark marks. I used it on my neck, where I still have a mark from my childhood days. And I also used it underneath my breast because I had dark marks there. And within the 2 days, my skin on my face just started to glow. The marks, I can see an improvement, but the marks had started to fade. My neck, I wish I had taken some before and after pictures. I honestly wished I had. My neck, the mark is practically non-existent. You would not know it's there unless I told you. That's how much it has improved. And for underneath my breast, well, it's a miracle. Everything has cleared up. And even though it has cleared up, I will continue to use this cream indefinitely. I will continue using the cream indefinitely. It's just a miracle cream. Miracle cream.
Well, I'm amazed at how well it's done for you, considering you've had eczema since childhood. And I just want to go back, back to your teenage years. Tell us what it was like living with eczema in your teens.
In my teens, in my circle of friends, I was the only one who suffered with it. So, I'm not saying that my friends were being mean or nasty, because I don't think they understood. When you're that age, it's very difficult to understand. We're not educated enough to understand these things. So I always stood out in my circle of friends. My clothing, I can still remember, it depended, in the end, I was wearing cotton, but depending on what I was wearing, my skin would be sticking to my flesh because the eczema had got so weepy, and it was just quite raw. It was just a very, very embarrassing time for me. Even as I got older, when I passed my childhood and I got older and I started to date, that was horrendous as well, because again, it was very embarrassing. You don't want to go out and, it makes you paranoid, because people probably weren't even noticing my skin, but in my head, I believed everyone was looking at me. That's how it felt. It made me quite paranoid. That is exactly how it felt. That's the word I was looking for. It made me paranoid.
So you, having lived with eczema practically, well, all your life, Joy,
all my life,
what were your coping strategies throughout that time? Obviously, as you got older, if there's anything you can share, just to encourage those who are going through a really tough time right now of their eczema, how did you cope with it?
I think one of the ways I coped with it, I had to break through that barrier of the embarrassment. So again, with my circle of friends, as I got older, I had much more insight into the skin condition, and I was able to talk to my friends about it and say to them, look, I've got eczema, and that took away the stigma for me, because I was able to show my friends and talk to them about it, and of course, they then understood. definitely understood, but it really took away the stigma from me, because I had to learn to talk about my condition and not let it hold me back from living a normal life. But I just learned to deal with it. There was nothing at all that actually helped it. I just had to condition myself to live with it, because there was nothing that helped. It was just the way I had to think about living with eczema. Nothing helped it. Absolutely nothing.
So when you say nothing, tell us about the type of treatments that you have been using throughout the years.
Throughout the years, I've had the famous Dermazeam cream. I think I grew up on Dermazeam cream. I've had, I'm going to use my mother's words here, bush tea. Goodness knows what she would boil up to give to me. I had that. I had various other steroid creams growing up as a child. I had bath oil. The doctor would prescribe. I remember my mother dropping drops of oils when I was bathing in the bath. I had things like that. Of course, we had to visit the herbal doctor, who again gave different creams. I have no idea what these creams were. All I know is it was being applied on my skin. As I said, it helped maybe for a week or so, but then the asthma will flare back up again. So nothing at no time has ever settled it.
Did you find that there were certain triggers that actually made you flare?
Strange that you should say that, because I also suffer with asthma. And whenever my asthma came about, the eczema would also flare up. Although it was always there, I found that it got worse whenever I had an attack of asthma. The eczema would flare up terribly. I remember, one of the things I also remember was scratching my skin to a pulp. I could not stop scratching. And I remember when I was younger, my mother actually used to put gloves on my hands before I went to bed, because it wasn't the normal scratch. It was a scratch. I was practically digging my skin out, because this thing was so itchy. I can still recall it to this day.
And did you used to get into, did it flare to the extent that you got infections with the eczema? Was it that, or did it get that bad?
I'm not sure if it was infected, but I do know my skin was raw. It was so raw and weepy. I so remember that. My skin was just raw, totally raw.
So now, further on, you understand your triggers. I'm just wondering whether diet might have had anything to do with helping you along the way to cope with eczema at all.
Not when I was younger, because I didn't really understand about diet when I was younger and the foods to eat and what not to eat. But then again, I also have an allergy to raw nuts, peanuts. So as I got older, I now know the things to avoid in order to keep all three at bay: the asthma, the eczema, the cold, the chestiness. So I now know what to avoid to maintain that balance with my eczema. But even saying that, I still believe the Dermazine is the only thing. I think I can avoid everything until the cows come home, but it would still come back. The Dermazine is the one thing that has kept me at bay for 3-4 months. I've had no flare-up, nothing at all, absolutely no sign. In fact, if you were to look at my skin, you would never guess that I had ever suffered with eczema. You would never ever guess. There's no trace of it. The traces have all gone.
That's amazing, Joy. I'm so happy that Dermazeam has worked so well for you, as it has for others. And since you looked up our reviews, I think we've had about 3 people, in fact, it didn't work so well for, but they had other positive things to say about it in terms of the freshness of the cream and how it went, it absorbed so well into the skin. It's something that they'll keep using because it does help them. But
and you know what, Carol, it also goes a long way. You don't need to plaster it on your body. It goes such a long way, and that's what I also like.
That's good. It does. So it's oil-based, which is shea butter, coconut oil, frankincense, and lavender. So the lavender element is antibacterial in nature. It also helps with the itching. The frankincense is great for cell rejuvenation and repair of damaged skin. And the shea butter acts as a barrier and also supports the fading of dark marks. And the coconut oil is antibacterial in nature as well. It's microbial and it helps to moisturize the skin in combination with the shea butter. So it is a natural cream that I developed unsuspectingly, not knowing that it was going to really support the symptoms my daughter had with eczema, helped her to overcome eczema. And that's why I developed it, really just to help her, to relieve her. And much to our surprise, it did a great job on helping her to overcome it. And to hear your story, and I hope you don't mind me sharing with the viewers.
No, we have to get the word out. Not at all, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, we are around the same age, and you've been suffering with it the whole of your life.
The whole of my life.
And now, having found Dermazine, since June, it's now October. And
November, it's November.
Sorry, it's now the Happy New Month.
Happy New Month indeed.
It's the 1st of November, so since June, so you're saying that the dark marks are fading significantly. The skin.
If I can add one other thing, please, Carol.
Yeah.
Away from the eczema, I suffer with very dry skin. My body, from top to toe, I have very dry skin. My skin is now, well, again, you would never believe, this woman could never have had dry skin. Her skin is looking too good. My skin looks amazing. My legs in particular, very, it's almost flaky. It's almost like a snake's back. My skin was so dry. And this has worked wonders. Another thing I use it for, I don't know if I should, but I do. It works for me. I use it as a deodorant.
Use it as is that the Dermazine, of course?
Yes.
With the lavender and frankincense.
Yes. I use it as a deodorant. So I've binned everything I had before. They've gone in the bin. This is now my deodorant. So many multi-purposes for this cream. There are so many multi-purposes. I also suffered with horrendous hard skin on the bottom of my feet. Since applying this to my sole of my feet, my foot bottom is so soft.
That's brilliant.
It's
it is absolutely, it's gorgeous for chronically dry skin. It really does help. If anything, it does that really, really well. And I developed my Lemongrass Hydrating Body Butter as a body moisturizer, but that actually, in fact, happens to be my deodorant. That's what I use. I haven't used conventional deodorants for quite some time, and it deodorizes really, really well. And it's a lovely, fresh fragrance that can be used all year round.
It's a beautiful fragrance. I've had this from you around August, and it is, oh my goodness, when you cream your body with this and you go to bed, your bed linen, the smell lingers on your bed linen. The room, the entire bedroom smells so fresh. It smells beautiful.
It is lovely. It's so invigorating. Because one of the things when I was able to run my workshops, I did a major workshop called What the Health Next. And it was one of my biggest workshops where I got the word out there about deodorants. And because the lymph nodes beneath the armpits are close to the breast, we have to be aware of what we're using underneath the armpit to eliminate, you know, the cause of some of the deodorants that we could be using, maybe connected to inflammation. So going as natural as possible, you know, in terms of natural products to really support the body and give the body the nourishment. So these creams are very nourishing for the skin and they're absolutely safe. I want to ask anybody out there, if there's anybody who wants to give us any questions for Joy at this moment in time, please do. And I do have somebody on our eczema community group here. We've got a member who says, "Hi, Joy.
Hi.
How long did the cream take to clear your eczema?"
The cream, let's be realistic. I'm going to say 7 days in total, but it was less. But let's go to 7 days, but it was definitely less than a week. My skin improved immensely. My skin improved immensely.
That's amazing.
And this is using it twice a day. I would use it in the mornings and before I went to bed at night. And my skin just improved immensely. Absolutely. I'm saying a week, but I know it was less than a week.
And that's using it day and night. And that would be after bathing, would it?
Yes.
That's brilliant. So if the person says, wow, person says, wow. And as much as I can sing its praises, hearing the stories of those that have used it, what it has done for my daughter overcoming eczema, I'm hearing the stories over and over again from people like you. And it's great to hear and see. Even from, I've now got a baby Dermazine formula as well out. And also
that will be my next purchase.
Oh, right.
That's my next purchase for my grandchild on the arrival.
Does he on the arrival?
Yes, we're expecting some little feet in 3 months' time.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh, well, congratulations in advance.
Thank you.
That's great news. So, right, well, I haven't got any questions come up right now, but if there is anything at all you want to share right now, Joy, please just give us some maybe words of wisdom or encouragement for anyone young out there who may even have been recently diagnosed, and those who are still living with eczema right now and struggling into, you know, their later years.
Very simple. It's not a difficult one. Try the Dermazine. Just give it a try. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. You will not. And with the Dermazine, what's brilliant, you know exactly what is going into your body. That's what I also like. We go to the doctors. We haven't got a clue what we are pumping into our skin. We know exactly what we're putting into our bodies with this. Give it a try. You will not be disappointed. And I don't normally give feedbacks of this nature. This is the first time I am doing this. I am living proof that this product works 110%. Just give it a try.
Well, everybody's different, and that's wonderful that a lot of people like you that have had great results. And what we have done is to assure people, whoever wants to try Dermazine can purchase 120 ml, which is our standard size, with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, no questions asked, you're guaranteed your money back in 30 days.
Oh, that's amazing, Carol. I think that's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But I also believe you will not have any returns.
Thank you. Well, it was wonderful you coming on here tonight, Joy. Thank you so much for your time.
No, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Very much appreciated.
And I am now going offline to place my order.
Oh!
So you will see my order coming through in a jiffy. As I hang up the phone, I'm going to place my order for delivery on Tuesday morning.
Lovely. Well, I look forward to receiving your order. We'll have it packed up.
Thank you so much. Thank you to Kate. Okay, thank you. Very happy customer. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. I'm just so pleased for you, and thank you so much for coming on here and giving us your time and sharing your story.
Oh, that's lovely. Have a blessed evening.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Well, that was Joy Lazarus, who joined us to give her story of how she had lived with eczema since childhood. And I'm sure Joy won't mind me sharing that we're both in our 50s, and Joy's had this since childhood. And as you heard her there, she's very pleased that she's found something natural that started to work for her. But she learned to cope with it by accepting it. She spoke about it to her friends, and she coped with it. She lived with it. And if anybody out there would like to share their eczema story, what we're doing is a documentary series on people living with eczema. And what we want to do is bring about awareness, share experiences, have conversations, and help people to understand about eczema and what eczema is about, and also give some, support to those by sharing our stories and experiences to give other people encouragement along the way. So thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good evening, everyone. And if you want to reach out to me, just comment below and I will get directly in touch with you, or you can go to team, that's TEAM, at carolsorganickitchen.com and drop us a message there and we'll reach back out to you. So thank you very much for tuning in, and have a lovely weekend and a great week ahead. Good night.